Hi, everyone. Well, time is ticking down, and I'm about a week and a half out from the move and leaving Texas and our house. So I'm trying to wrap up some topics that I think are super important in the meantime. One of the biggest things that I'm coming to realize is that there's a strong need for people like us to focus on resilience based tools and essentially build career insurance for our financial stability going forward. So, let me ask you a quick question. What's your runway number right now? How many months can you survive if your income or your spouse's income, if it were to stop today? Now, if you can't answer this in 5 seconds, you're flying blind. I learned this the hard way twice. The first layoff, I didn't calculate my runway until I was a couple of months in. By then, I had already wasted $4,400 on panic purchases. The second layoff, I started calculating it on day one. 3.5 months. That's all I had. But knowing that number let me make completely different decisions. So here's how to calculate yours in the next 60 seconds. First layoff, I had no idea what my runway was. The severance was gone in a matter of months. Panic buying, the wrong decisions. We talked about $14,000 in mistakes. The second layoff, I calculated everything first. Same situation, completely different outcome. The difference, one number, your runway. Now, before we calculate yours, I really want to know kind of where you're starting. So do me a favor, comment your monthly burn rate if you know it in the comments. If you don't know your burn rate, just type a question mark. Let's see how many people are actually tracking this number and need help. Because here's what nobody tells you about layoffs. The panic isn't just about losing your job. It's about not knowing how long you can last. 3 weeks after my first layoff, I'm staring at my bank account trying to figure it out. Do I have 2 months, 4 months, 6 months? I didn't know. And that uncertainty, that's what destroys you. Because you can't make good decisions when you're guessing. It's, do I take this job offer that's wrong for me? Or can I afford to hold out? Can I negotiate my severance, or do I need to sign this thing immediately? Here's a hint, don't do that. Then it's, should I move to a cheaper city or a cheaper place to live in the city I'm in? Or can you wait? You can't answer any of these questions without your runway number. So let's calculate it right now. The formula is stupid simple. It's your total available cash divided by your monthly burn rate. That's going to equal your runway in months. That's it. But a lot of people either don't do it or they don't include everything. So your total available cash, this should be your savings, any severance that you're planning on getting, and any liquid assets that you can access really fast. And that means in like 48 hours. For your monthly burn rate, you should add up everything you spend in a month currently. And I do mean everything. So I'll tell you mine, but let me tell you one of the things that several people I've talked to, we just realized we weren't tracking. The price of some of our subscriptions, most of them actually, have crept up months and years without us really noticing because we weren't focused on it. We weren't worried about it. So Now that I've gone through a second layoff, I had about 8,600 in severance. I had about 23,000 in savings and checking combined. So my total available cash was 31,500. My burn rate was over 8,600 a month, 8,665 specifically. That's my mortgage, utilities, insurance, the food, eating out, and groceries, my debt payments, subscriptions, all of it. I went and pulled everything. And when you divide 31,500 by 8,665, you get 3.5 months, 3.6 months. That's all I had before unemployment kicked in, which took a while. But I knew that number on day one this time. And that changed everything for me because then I could plan. So once unemployment started, my burn rate dropped to about $8,000 a month. And changing some things, eliminating some things, it got it down to about 6,000 a month. That extended my runway to 5.2 months. It's still not great, but it's way better than 3.6. So what if somebody asked you right now, how do I calculate my runway? Could you explain this formula to them? If you can, drop the word ready in the comments. If you need to rewind and watch that section again, do it. Because this is the most important number that you'll calculate this year. Now, let's calculate yours. Step 1, total available cash. Open up your banking app right now. I'll wait. And add up your checking, savings, and any liquid investments that you can access in 48 hours. If you have a severance, add that. If you don't have a severance yet, assume 0 because we're calculating worst case. You don't have it until you have it. And write that number down. Step 2, your monthly burn rate. And this is going to be harder than you think. Pull up your last 3 months of bank statements. Average them out. That's your real burn rate. Not what you think it is, but what it actually is. You got mortgage and rent, utilities, insurance, food, gas, subscriptions. You may have pet fees and kid fees and sports and you're going to get your hair done and on and on. Everything. Write that number down. This is critical. Step 3 is simple. Divide. Take the total cash and divide it by your monthly burn. That's your runway. That's how many months you can survive if everything stops today. Mine was 3.6 months. What's yours? And here's what most people discover, that their runway is a lot shorter than they thought. Way shorter. So if you just calculated yours and it's under 6 months, you're not alone. But here's the thing. Now you know. And knowing means that you can do something about it. After my first layoff, I didn't know my runway until month 2. By then, I'd already wasted $4,400 on panic purchases. LinkedIn Premium that got me 0 interviews, a real estate license I never got the chance to use, software tools and equipment for a startup idea that had to go on the back burner after a few weeks. I was making decisions in the dark. My second layoff, I calculated my runway on day 1. 3.6 months before unemployment, 5.2 months after. And I made completely different choices. I made hard choices. I knew I needed to extend my runway fast. So that's when I started planning on the move to Alabama, like immediately. My Dallas burn rate with unemployment was down to about 6,000 a month. But when I move to Alabama and optimize everything, I'm going to get that down to about 3,400 a month. And that's a huge difference. That's going to extend my runway from around 5 months to over 9 months, almost doubling my buffer here. But I only made that decision because I knew my number. Once you know your runway, you have 3 decisions to make. Decision 1, is this enough time? If your runway is under 3 months, you're in crisis mode. Take the first decent offer you can get. Negotiate your severance hard. Cut everything immediately. If your runway is 3 to 6 months, you're in a little bit more strategic mode. You've got time to be selective, but not time to be picky. And if your runway is over 6 months, congratulations, you're in opportunity mode. This is kind of where you can explore, you can build something, you can be patient. So decision 2 is, can I extend it? Let's talk about geographic arbitrage. Let's talk about lower cost of living areas. Cutting your cutting your burn rate, stacking your income. Every month that you add to your runway is one more month of options. And decision 3, what do I do first? If you're employed and worried, you need to calculate your theoretical runway now. Then start building your career insurance. And that's what I'm wanting to get to building right now. If you just got laid off, calculate your actual runway today. Then work backward from that number. Every decision you make should be, does this extend my runway or shorten it? That's it. That's the framework. I built a calculator that does all of this math for you. It's free, and the link will be in the description. You plug in your numbers, it gives you your runway. But it also shows you what happens if you cut spending by 30%. What happens if you add $1,000 a month in side income? What happens if you move somewhere cheaper? You can play with the scenarios because your runway isn't fixed. It is a variable that you control. This is the foundation of the career insurance system I'm building. Know your numbers. That's step 1. Step 2, see it coming. The weekly check-in that tracks warning signs. Step 3 is build your buffer. Geographic arbitrage, income stacking. Step 4 is activate your plan. What to do in the first 72 hours. I'm covering all of this in the next videos because this isn't just about surviving a layoff. It's about never being blindsided again. That's career insurance. So here's what to do right now. Calculate your runway. Use the calculator in the description. Don't guess, don't estimate, get the actual number. 2, join Phoenix Rising. It's free. 120 people are building career insurance right now together. Share your runway. Ask questions. Learn from people who have been through this and are going through it. 3, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel to get value. And please hit the bell to get notified. The next video will be the weekly check-in system. More warning signs that will predict layoffs weeks ahead. That's next Wednesday. Your runway number is the most important number you'll calculate this year. Know it, track it, and extend it. That's career insurance as well. Thank you very much, and I'll see you Wednesday.